Today, we're diving into two huge, seemingly competing ideas for the future of the African continent. One is literally rooted in the earth, a massive act of restoration. And the other? Well, it lives in the cloud, a digital revolution that's all about data.
So on one side, picture this, an incredible, almost unbelievable ambition to build an 8,000-kilometer wall of trees to stop the Sahara Desert in its tracks. And on the other side, you've got this high-tech vision, a continent-wide web of data centers and fiber optics, all designed to power a brand new digital economy. Two completely different dreams for the future, growing from totally different sources. All right, so let's dig into that first vision, the Great Green Wall. I mean, the name alone, right? It sounds like something from a movie. So grand, so hopeful. But as we're about to see, the promise behind it is shadowed by a much more complicated reality on the ground. And the scale of this thing? It is just mind-blowing. Launched back in 2007, the goal wasn't just to plant a few trees. No. It was to restore 100 million hectares of land. To put that in perspective for you, that's an area about twice the size of Spain, all while creating jobs and fighting climate change. It was billed as this amazing African-led solution for some of the planet's biggest problems.
And, this quote from one of its early champions, the former president of Senegal, 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗁, just sums it up perfectly. He basically admitted, yeah, this is a little bit crazy. And you need that kind of audacity to even attempt to re-engineer an entire landscape. It was a project born out of some really radical hope.
And in those early days, it really looked like that hope was paying off. You started hearing these incredible stories, especially out of Senegal, of real tangible change. You had herders finding better grazing for their animals, women's groups starting gardens that provided both food and a source of income. And, maybe the most powerful thing of all, kids could finally stay put and go to school. The numbers looked good too. Senegal was kind of the poster child for the whole thing.
But that was then. Years later, a project this massive was bound to hit some roadblocks. And boy did it. So the real question is, what does the Great Green Wall actually look like on the ground today?
And the reality? It's pretty brutal. Take this one spot in Senegal, a 600-hectare plantation that was supposed to be a shining example. They put up the fences, they planted the saplings. But when the funding to maintain those fences dried up, the goats moved in, and the whole area just went back to sand and dust. It's like a ghost of that once green dream.
Which, of course, brings us to the money. This quote from the head of Chad's Great Green Wall Agency really gets to the heart of the frustration. You have billions of dollars pledged at these big, high-profile summits, but the people on the ground, the ones actually tasked with doing the work, they're left asking, hey, where is it? We haven't seen it.
So, the Great Green Wall has become something of a cautionary tale. A lot of donors, it turns out, just fund international NGOs directly, totally bypassing the local African agencies that are supposed to be leading the charge. Some critics have a pretty strong name for this: green neocolonialism. The idea is that these projects end up fitting a Western fantasy of Africa instead of what's actually needed on the ground. And for real people, like 𝗵𝗵𝗿𝗁 in Djibouti, well, it meant 5 months of backbreaking work on a project that just stopped. The money simply ran out.
Okay, but at the exact same time that this green dream is struggling, a completely different vision for Africa's future is just exploding. We're talking about the continent's digital gold rush, a massive, high-speed technological transformation.
And it all starts with a number. Just let this one sink in. $94 billion. That's the record-breaking amount of foreign direct investment that flowed into Africa in 2024. It's a staggering amount of capital.
But what's even crazier is the speed of it all. That $94 billion, that represents an 85% increase from the year before. This isn't a slow trickle. It's a flood of investment, and it's reshaping economies at an incredible pace.
And we're not talking about abstract numbers on a spreadsheet here. This is money flowing into real, on-the-ground projects. A massive $35 billion development in Egypt, a $5 billion energy project in Nigeria, over $5 billion in financial deals in South Africa. This is real infrastructure being built right now.
So what's the engine powering this boom? Well, it's data centers, the actual physical backbone of our digital world. And get this, the continent's data center capacity is on track to more than double by 2030. These are the new highways and railways of the 21st century. But this is where our two stories, the Green Wall and the data cloud, smash right into each other. Because this digital gold rush, this amazing engine of progress, it comes with a hidden environmental cost.
And it creates a really fascinating and pretty challenging paradox.
The promise is just immense. I mean, just look at this number. Artificial intelligence alone is projected to add nearly $3 trillion to the African economy by 2030. Trillion, with a T. So the incentive to build out this digital future is almost unimaginably huge.
And then, here's the cost. A single one of these AI-focused data centers can use as much energy as 100,000 homes. As you can see, the energy consumption from data centers globally is set to absolutely skyrocket. This new economy is incredibly thirsty for power. And it's not just energy, it's water. All those servers powering the future get really hot, and they need enormous amounts of water to cool down. So think about it. The new engine of progress is consuming the exact same precious resource that the Great Green Wall was created to preserve. And that, right there, is the central conflict. So, does it have to be a choice? Is it the Green Wall or the data cloud? Or is there maybe a third option? A way to innovate a new path forward where these two futures can actually support each other?
Well, there's one potential solution that literally bridges these two worlds. It's called Cold Underground Thermal Energy Storage, or UTES for short. And the basic idea is just brilliant. What if you could use the Earth itself as a giant natural battery to cool these power-hungry data centers?
So here's how it works, in a nutshell. First, a liquid pulls heat away from all those hot servers. Then, that hot liquid gets pumped deep underground, where it transfers its heat to the naturally cool rock. That newly cooled liquid is then pumped back to the surface to cool more servers. And at night, when electricity is cheap, you can even recharge the system by chilling the rock. It's basically using geology as a form of technology.
And this is why this all matters so much. We hear it all the time. Data is the new gold. But unlike the gold rushes of the past, the infrastructure we build to mine this new gold has to be sustainable. The real value isn't just in the data itself, but in building a system that can power the future without draining the continent's most precious resources. Which leaves us with this big, final question. The story of the Great Green Wall teaches us some hard lessons about respecting the land and the limits of top-down plans. The story of the digital boom shows us the raw power of technology to drive growth. So, can Africa forge a future that combines the wisdom of both? A future that learns from the Earth while it builds for the cloud? That is the challenge, and that is the massive opportunity.